Welcome to the spoiler review for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Joe has posted a non-spoiler review, and I'm here for spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled by the movie, go watch Joe's review. But if you want spoilers, stick with me. Alright, let's dive right into this movie. This is not a Batman and Superman movie. It is a Batman movie with Superman playing a supporting role. I am not the biggest Batman fan, but I will watch a movie with Batman and probably enjoy it. I just find his character not that easily connectable or relatable for myself. But Ben Affleck's Batman is so narrow-minded and has tunnel vision to the max that it made me really dislike the character. And he runs 90% of this movie. Superman's story is interesting because he's really supporting Batman's development. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying Henry Cavill's portrayal of Superman because I like Superman a lot. Then, when you dive into Gal Gadot's portrayal of Wonder Woman, you're going, like, where is Wonder Woman? Because Gal Gadot actually does a really good job, but the problem here is she wasn't given a lot to work with. And Chris Terrio, as a writer for this film, I felt kind of failed. I felt that he was trying to give us so much, but he could have cut out a lot and added in extra stuff. For example, if any of you have seen the DC show Justice League back in 2002, I believe is when it came out, the first 2 episodes of that show was an origin story for all 7 members of the Justice League. They could have done a very, very, very quick origin story for Wonder Woman because here she just kind of pops out of nowhere and she interacts with Batman a little bit. We see her talk in the trailer, and pretty much her cameo in the trailer is sort of like her appearance throughout this entire film. I've said before that I don't think DC does well with adapting their comic book material to live action. They're very good at animation, and if you've seen Superman Doomsday and if you've seen Superman Batman Apocalypse, you've seen this movie. The movie is almost an adaptation of those two, but throwing Luthor instead of Darkseid. And I felt the animated movies were able to do it better. In fact, I really wished that Snyder and Terrio looked to those films and tried to almost replicate them. Because even though I said those movies are very much emulated here, they weren't emulated properly. Now, this movie is based on the dawn of the Justice League, and in this film, we get cameos of Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash. And seeing those cameos are really cool. I liked especially that Gal Gadot or Diana is the one to figure this out because there is a party which Bruce and Clark are in attendance at, and at the party, Bruce is hijacking Lex's information because he doesn't trust Lex. And let's talk about Lex for a second. Jesse Eisenberg is a horrible, 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 horrible Lex Luthor. I hated it. I hated the entire take of Lex Luthor. I hated the fact that he had long hair. I hated the fact that he was so jittery. I just couldn't stand him. And again, this movie is such a Batman-based movie with Superman playing a supporting role, and then you have Superman's villain be Batman's villain. It's just like, really? Like, where are we going with this? Of course, we're going to start the Justice League. Now, I guess the interesting part of this movie to discuss would be the battle between Batman and Superman. But also, let me quickly backtrack. In the movie, Holly Hunter plays a senator, and Holly Hunter's character is so enjoyable, but the problem is she dies. She gets blown up by Luthor, and I hated it because I really wanted the senator to be a main character. I really enjoyed everything that Holly Hunter's character stood for. And, the main problem in the beginning of the movie with Superman is, he's Superman. Is he God? Like, why does he have all this power? And why does he not oblige by, the American rules, I guess? And Holly Hunter's character, at first was like, we need to control Superman, but then she kind of was coming around to, letting Superman be who he is, and then she dies, courtesy of Luthor, because Luthor's trying to frame Superman because Luthor can't stand him. And even Lex's reasons for hating him are very narrow-minded because he just can't get over his past. And had an older actor have been portraying him, I felt that I might have connected to Lex's fear, but I had no connection. In fact, I really, really hated it. Lois Lane was excellent in this movie. The only problem was during the battle between Doomsday and Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, Lois became a damsel in distress because she almost drowns. And of course, Superman had to save her. But Amy Adams did a really, really great job. So Holly Hunter and Amy Adams were perfect. In fact, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot in their acting was great. But I just felt the direction which Zack Snyder wanted to go to and the writing which Chris Terrio gave them didn't allow their acting to, or didn't allow the characters to be expressed in the way that their acting was able to do it, if that makes any sense. I just felt they had great actors, but the actors weren't given the best material. Batman and Wonder Woman have an interesting kind of flirtatious relationship, but it's so off-sided that you think, well, where's this going? Now, I guess, so Luthor hates Superman. Classic Superman problem right there. He's framing Superman for all these deaths, and, he ends up capturing Superman's mom, and he captures Amy Adams, or he captures Lois Lane. Superman is able to save Lois Lane, and then, by capturing his mom, he blackmails him into battling Batman. And Batman, he's so narrow-minded the whole time. He's so afraid of Superman. He thinks Superman's the devil. Actually, Luthor really thinks the devil's Superman. Or, excuse me, Luthor really thinks Superman is the devil. Batman just thinks Superman needs to be stopped. So Batman and Superman start to fight because Luthor says, bring me the head of the bat. And Superman is trying to make him not want to kill him. Because Superman likes Batman, in all honesty. He actually kind of likes Bruce Wayne. In fact, the way that he finds out that Batman is Bruce Wayne is through overhearing him with the headpiece at the party that I was talking about, where Batman and Wonder Woman meet for the first time, or Bruce and Diana meet for the first time. So I thought that was actually really interesting. But Batman, when he was fighting him, he won't listen to Superman. And I was like, just stop being so narrow-minded and listen to Clark. Just listen for 3 seconds. And the visuals when they were fighting was actually really cool in that part. So this is when I'm very torn on this movie, because I liked the visuals when they were fighting. I just couldn't stand, I guess, the writing that they chose to give Batman's character here. Batman was able to weaken Superman to a point where he was able to cut him, which was pretty cool, because there was that question that was asked, do you bleed? And Superman does bleed. So after Batman and Superman kind of come to a stalemate, and the stalemate is actually done in a really nice way. The stalemate is done through the fact that both their mothers are named Martha, and Superman's mother is, like I said, captured by Luthor, and Superman says before Batman stabs him, Batman, by the way, had taken a huge chunk of kryptonite that Luthor had was able to obtain from the government, and he fashioned it into a spear and is about to stab him, and then Amy Adams comes in because she wants to save Superman. So it's kind of cool that Superman was able to be saved by Lois Lane, but then 10 minutes later, he has to save her from drowning. So Batman and Superman reconcile due to the fact that mothers have the same first name, which is goofy, but it's nice. And then when Batman goes to save Superman, or goes to save Martha Kent, that was really nice too, because Batman says flat out, I'm a friend of your son's, and she goes, it's the cape. And I just thought that was really, really cool. So Superman and Batman have reconciled, and then Doomsday comes in. And Doomsday's really interesting here because the way he looks, I like that. I did like that a lot. But I didn't like all the visuals around him. It was very, very difficult to watch because it's just so many bright lights flashing, and the characters are moving so fast. You have a very hard time keeping up. And I saw this in IMAX 3D, and it was just very difficult for me to watch. I would say just watch this in the standard 2D, no IMAX, no 3D, because if you go beyond that, you're just going to get a headache, because I actually came out of the movie with a slight headache. So the battle between Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman versus Doomsday was pretty intense, and the only way to defeat Doomsday is to use the kryptonite spear that Batman was going to kill Superman with. And Superman pulls the spear up, he's able to fly, and he stabs Doomsday with it, and Doomsday dies. But at the same time, Doomsday is also stabbing Superman in the chest, and he dies. So it's a stalemate. And there's a beautiful, beautiful look that Diana and Lois share right as they're looking at Superman's body, and I thought that was really, really great. I did like that quite a bit. Then the movie pretty much ends with Superman's burial and Batman and Wonder Woman, or Bruce and Diana, discussing forming the Justice League. Now, like I said, if any of you have seen Superman Doomsday, we know Superman isn't dead. It's just how it goes. Superman can't die on Earth, I believe, due to the yellow sun. And there's no ending credit scene for this film, so you don't have to stick around for that. And the movie ends after Batman and Wonder Woman decide to reconstruct the Justice League or to construct the Justice League. We see Superman's coffin, and it, like, I believe it slightly moves. So that's pretty much it. That's really the movie in a nutshell. It's Luthor's plight against Superman. He tries to get Superman and Batman to fight each other. It doesn't work, and then he brings in Doomsday, which is Zod's body, because he entered Zod's chamber or alien ship from the Man of Steel movie. I think that the direction of the film was weak, and the writing of the film was weak as well. I liked it, but I didn't like it. There were parts of it that I liked, and there were parts of it that I didn't like, and I would say go see it if you're a DC fan, but if you've seen the DC animated films, you'll probably enjoy those a lot more. So overall, it's like a B minus, C plus movie for me. I wouldn't see it again in the theaters. I would just say see it once, maybe buy it on DVD. It's interesting, but it's overall not that enjoyable for me. And my biggest complaint about this was I just felt Superman and Diana were so underdeveloped, while at the same time they were really trying to develop Batman. But I feel like because Batman is probably the more DC popular character, or one of the most popular characters in DC, that's what their main focus was. And in a Batman for Batman and Superman, you just know that there's no clear winner. It was a tie. So yeah, B minus, C plus movie. Check it out. Hopefully you have enjoyed this review. Thank you for listening to my opinions on it. I appreciate it. And if you want a non-spoiler review, like I said, but at this point, probably stupid, you can check out Joe's. He probably will have some different opinions of the film than myself. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye.